Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Tiny Codes. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about while loops. We're going to talk on how you use while loops, how you're going to use them, and where you'd want to use them. So loops are used when you want to execute a certain block of code while the condition is true. So you give a certain condition to your loop and then you tell it to execute as many times as possible while that condition is true. So let's get right into it. So in today's tutorial, we're going to do a really fun program. Our program is going to be a mathematical based one. So basically what our program is going to do, going to say our program should write all the numbers between 100 and 1000. So it's going to write all the numbers between 100 and 1000 which can be divided by 5 and 2. So basically what our program is going to do is going to execute on our console all the numbers between 100 and 1000 which can be divided by both 5 and 2. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to declare a variable which is going to be called our counter variable or our counter number, whichever way you want to declare your variable name. So our counter variable is going to go through all the numbers from 100 to 1000, checking if the number is divided or is divisible by 5 and 2. So all this is possible because of while loops. So like I said before, you want to use while loops if you want to execute a certain block of code multiple times while a certain condition is true. So our condition here is going to be, is the number or is our counter value divisible by 5 and divisible by 2. Mind you, we're going to use our AND operator because we're looking for both outcomes. If the counter value is divisible by 5 and if it is divisible by 2. So if it is divisible by 5 only, it won't work, our condition is false, and if it's divisible by 2 only, still our condition is false. So our counter value needs to be divisible by both 5 and 2 for it to be passed as a true. So like I said before, we're going to declare our variable. So the first thing you need to do is declare your variable. So our variable is going to be an int data type. So we're going to say int, and our variable name is going to be counter number. It's going to be counter number. Remember to do camel casing when you declare your variable so that it's easy to read through them. And I'm going to assign our counter value to 100. So like I said, our interval is from 100 to 1000. So we're going to set the initial number or the initial value for our counter variable to be 100. So our counter value is going to check from 100 to 1000. So we're going to put 100 over here, and then after we've done declaring our variable, then we're going to start with our while loop. So our while loop syntax is pretty much familiar or the same with our if else statement. So our syntax goes like this. You're going to say while, pardon me guys, I don't have my glasses on today because I misplaced them, so I'm going to make a few mistakes because I cannot see clearly on my screen. So you'll have to excuse me for today. After this video, I'll make sure I look for my glasses, and for my next tutorial I'm going to have them on, so please bear with me for today. So as I was saying, our syntax goes like this as while and open close parenthesis, and inside of this open and close parenthesis, that's where you're going to put your condition. So as you can see, this while syntax is pretty much the same for now with our if else statement, because our if else statement, we put if here, the word if, and then we put in open close parenthesis, and then we put in our condition inside. So here, as I said before, our condition, we're going to check if our counter value, our counter number, is divisible by 5 and 3, 5 and 2. So we're going to use our AND operator to establish that to our computer. So like I said, inside this parenthesis we're going to put a condition that the computer needs to follow before executing the code. So here our condition is going to be, our computer can execute the code only if our counter number is less than 1001. So there's another way that we can write this condition over here. So another way we can say is equal to or greater than 1000. So this is another way we can write our condition. So we could say our program should execute only if our counter value is less than 1001, or if our counter number is equals to or less than 1000. So this is pretty much the same thing. And after here we're going to put in our braces block of code that we want to be executed if this condition is true. So if this condition is true, we'll write in here what we want the computer to execute, or how we want our program to go along. So now what we left to do is to write a code that's going to check if our counter number is divisible by 5 and 2. So to do that, we're going to use our modular operator. And if you haven't seen or you haven't heard of a modular operator, you'll have to look at my previous video. I'm going to put the link in the description below so that you can start there and look at your operators, so that when you come here to this current video, you are able to understand about our operators, because you're going to be using them more often in this course. So to check if our counter number is divisible by 5 and 2, we're going to use one of our control statements. We're going to use our if else statement. So if you have not heard about if else statement and you have not seen any video of me doing if else statement, I'll advise you to first go to a video where I talk about if else statement. I'll put the link in the description below so that you can start by looking at those first, and you can come back and look at this video. So as I said, we need a code that's going to determine if the counter number is divisible by 5 and also by 2. So by that we're going to use our if else statement. So we're going to say if, and we're going to put our open close parenthesis, and in there we're going to put our condition. So like I said, we're going to use our modular operator to determine that. So our condition is going to go like this. We're going to say if our counter value, when you modulate it by 2, your answer is 0. And also, mind you, we're checking both the condition. So it has to meet both the condition to qualify as a true condition. Our counter number should be divisible by both 2 and 5. So we're going to put in our AND operator. So if our counter number modulated by 2 is equal to 0, which means there's no reminder, and if also our counter value modulated by 5 this time is equal to a 0. So this is our condition. So after we've written our condition, then we're going to write what our program should execute on our console. So what our program should execute on our console. So we're going to use our cout command. We're going to say cout number, our current counter number, and then we're going to say is divisible by 2 and 3, and then we're going to put in our end line, because we're going to have multiple lines, remember. So it's going to show all the numbers between 100 and 1000 that are both divisible by 2 and 5. So it's going to be a long list of numbers. We want it to be formatted nicely, so we put in our end line so that each number is on its own line and it doesn't look messy. So we're going to put in our end line here, and then our semicolon. So now we're pretty much done. We need to do one more thing. So like I said before when I was explaining our program, is our counter number is going to look from 100 to 1000 and it's it's going to look within those numbers which numbers can be divided by 2 and also by 5. And I said our number is going to start from 100 to 1000, but when we look into our code, there's no code that's going to help our counter number jump to the next number. So to jump from 100 to 101. So to do that, we need to type in one more line of code, a short one, which is going to enable our counter number to increase. So our counter number is going to check our condition, then after checking our condition, it's going to jump to the next value, which is 101. Check the condition if it's true or false, and then jump to the next number, which is 102. So what we need to do here is going to use something called an increment. So an increment, I talked about increment and decrement when I was talking about our operators. So here we're going to say counter, and then we're going to increment our counter value every time when it gets to the end of our code. So our code is going to go like this. It's going to go and check while, and it's going to check our while condition. So the condition that's going to determine if our program is going to be executed or not. And then we're going to go our if else statement, and it's going to check our condition on our if else statement. And then if our if else statement, or if our condition is true, it's going to execute this code. And then if our condition is false, it's not going to execute any code, but it's going to jump to this line. So what this line does is going to add 1 to our counter value. So if our program starts on 100 and it goes, and when it gets there, it's going to increase by 1. So it's going to be 101, and it's going to jump back to this while condition, because 101 is still less than 1000, so it still qualifies, and it's going to go and go and go, and then it goes to counter number to this line of code. This line of code is going to add 1 to our 101, so now it's going to be 102, and it's going to go back to this while line, and then it's going to check if that 102 is less than 1000. Okay, it's less than 1000. Going to jump to the next code. It's going to check if 102 is divisible by 2 and 5, and then if yes, it's going to execute. If not, it's not going to execute, and it's going to go up until it reaches 1000, and then 1000 is going to execute, and then when it comes here again, it's going to be 1001, and when it jumps back to our first line of the condition, it's going to see, okay, 1001 is not equal to 1000, and it is not less than 1000. So our code needs to break. So our while loop needs to break. It is going to stop because this condition is false. I hope you do understand that. So let's run our project and see how we've done. So as you can see, this is our line of code from 100 to 1000. So all these numbers 750, 760, 110, all these numbers are divisible by 2 and 3. So this is proof that our program works fine. So this is the end of our tutorial. I hope you had fun. In my next tutorial, I'm going to talk about while loops again. So it's going to be while loop part 2, so that you guys get really into while loops and understand how they work. So I'm gonna use another example in my next tutorial. So if you have seen value in this video, please like this video, comment in the comment section if you have had fun, if you had if you encountered any problems, or if you just wanna thank me, or if you just wanna comment on anything. So my comment section is always open up to say your thoughts and what you think of this tutorial, and I'm always open and ready to receive comments of how you guys want to be taught and how you guys understand and where you want me to fix and where I'm doing good. So comment in the comment section, fill that comment section, and also share this video to anyone who you think might be interested in learning C++. And to anyone who hasn't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.